Mr. Rattle's dreams come true? Who is the mysterious Don? Where does Roll of Rattle and Roll fit into this? Why did Mr. Rattle stow away to America? What is a jam? Where did Mr. Rattle get counterfeit money? Why doesn't Mr. Rattle have whiskers? All these and other questions will be answered in the first and following issues of Rattle and Roll.
Twisted Fairy Tales. The YouTube show you love to watch, bring you an anthology truly top-notch. Over 14 stories and over 80 pages. Rest assured this is not for all ages, so sit back in your chair, drink up your ale, and grab your copy of Twisted Fairy Tales. Showcasing creators, both old and new, the bargain bin knew just what to do. Cool art, cool stories, all from cool scripts. To top it off, we added some sexy chicks.
Bargain bin, let's see what crowd is in. Baba Dave and his hair. He's old man, but please don't stare. Alright, he's on the bargain bin. Now this just in, it's just in. Our new guy who just snuck in. He takes a joke, he just don't care. He's a regular gummy bear. New boy, here on the bargain bin. Bonus section, it's area black. For the furries, he's got your back. Along with Neve, that rhymes with Steve. Can't you weave? She'll knit you a sleeve. Whoa, they're on the bargain bin. It's on Monday night. If you're lucky, it's on time. It's a pile of shite, but to miss it is a crime. Just out the gate, it's Rob GP. He's not a dog, but he'll make you pee. Up for a laugh, he'll laugh at Oat. If he falls flat, he'll get his coat. Whoa, we are the bargain bin. You hear the bargain bin, huh? This is the bargain bin.
Hello everyone, it's Aria Black. Good to see you again. I'm back here once again. It's Monday night. You know I'm always here. Along with a ragtag group of hosts ready to tell you all about this week's latest comic book news, latest things, latest whatever's going on in the week. We've actually, despite a lack of planning, have a pretty packed show for you today, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. We've got some new segments that we're going to trial today, so that should be pretty cool, and stay tuned for a very cool show and tell coming up right at the end of the show. It's going to be pretty good. We've got some cool stuff to show off. Let me say hello to the people in the chat currently, because we've got Ben motherfucking Jackson. Good to see you, my dude. We've also got Mr. Red Dress Press himself. Hail, everyone. Hail to yourself, dude. Good to see you here. Good to see you indeed. Now, let's bring on our favorite hosts. We've got Justin Knight and Rob G. Price.
I want to be the favorite host. But Master, I wanted to be the chosen one.
Now, kids. I love you equally.
Good evening, Internet.
I just want to hear you do Good Morning Vietnam with that thing.
Oh, okay.
The neighbors must love you, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, they're miles away. I'm in the boondies. It's 0800. It's 0600 hours. And what does the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. Good morning, Vietnam. How was that?
I haven't watched that movie in ages. I need to see it again. Good impression. Robin Williams, we miss you, buddy.
Red Dress Press. I love it. He knows it. He knows it from Kung Pao. If you've got an ass, I'll kick it. Master, I wanted to be the chosen one.
Well done, Chris. You set Rob off.
Nice. Very
Good job.
nice.
Good job. Good to see you guys.
We trained him wrong on purpose. Oh, we could go through the quotes all night.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, I'll slip in a quote or two as we go along. Birdie, birdie, birdie.
So we got some cool things to promote first before we get into the show. First on the plate today, we've got this tasty snack. It's Gustav Lubnicki Only Never Part 1. It's on Kickstarter. £588 so far. Not doing too shabbily, but it could be doing a lot better with your help. Help us spread the word. Share the links in the description below, and they will also shortly be in the live chat. So go check out Gustav Lubnicki Only Never, the official comic book adaptation of the cult hit indie movie. What have you got to lose? Go and check it out. Super affordable campaign. Go and get in on some of this indie comics, indie film action. Woo! And next on the agenda, it's over to Justin for Detective in Mind on Royal Road.
It is. I'm just bringing up the screen now.
Royal?
Yeah. Oh, yes, there it is. Well, are you showing or am I showing?
There we go. Now you're showing.
Yeah, there I'm showing. Yeah. So I've actually did a little experiment with this, and I actually did a bit of paid advertising to see if it would actually help. And as you can see on the screen, it's got me 100 followers and a fair few views and ratings as well. And it's done really well. I'm getting some great feedback on it from people that are reading it, especially from the latest chapter I've just put up. But all the comments have been very encouraging. And believe you me, anyone that has read this, I appreciate you immensely. And since I have accumulated a good following on Royal Road, I'm going to be posting all my work there from now on because the readers have been so helpful. And the advert I paid for was $50, which was about £47. It's been totally worth it. So it's raised my hopes when I release the book later on this month that it's actually going to do quite well. I hope.
Have you finished this book already?
Yes, it's finished and edited.
Get out.
And ready to rock and roll. I wasn't going to put it on Royal Road originally because I didn't have much faith in it. I was very skeptical of it, but I'd seen so many other authors saying, give it a go. You can get an audience this way, and it's organic growth. And they've been right. And one of the most popular books I've ever read it got its origins in Royal Road, which was Dungeon Crawler Carl. And for anyone that hasn't read that book, I suggest checking it out. It's a marvelous read. So yeah, I'm stoked at how well it's done.
Right, a couple of years ago, no, last year, I was in an online writing workshop, and Andy Weir was there talking about his work, The Martian.
Great book.
Brilliant book, and exactly the same. It wasn't Royal Road. I don't think it was a different blog he had, but he started releasing it chapter by chapter.
Yeah, because the story goes, he was releasing it, I think, week by week. I forget now, but the readers were pointing out mistakes. He'd correct it. And then when it finished, they said to him, can you put it out as an ebook? And he said, okay. And he put it as low as price as he possibly could on Amazon, which was something like 99 cents over there. And it just exploded.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I think it was HarperCollins made him a deal for the paperback.
Okay.
And the audiobook of The Martian, the original audiobook of The Martian, is responsible for boosting the profiles of audiobooks. Because it was narrated by a guy called R.C. Bray. He's one of the R.C. Bray. Yeah, I know what you was thinking just then.
Sorry, buddy.
And he's essentially looked at as one of the rock stars of the narrating world. And his version of The Martian is fantastic, but Amazon got hold of the rights to it and they remade it with Will Wheaton narrating it, and it sounds shit.
Hang on a sec.
Wheaton!
Yeah, that one.
Literally just watched that episode.
Yeah, he doesn't do the audiobook justice, and all the comments on the new one is like, bring back RC Bray, and it's like, yeah, So I'm so glad I got to hear the original before Amazon remade it.
You didn't download it then?
No, I got the old version. I haven't got the new one. You can listen to samples.
Like what the one with RC? What's his name?
Yeah, RC Bray.
Okay.
Speaking of Amazon remakes, don't miss out on your chance to get a copy of Rattle and Roll. You can get it on 3 different places online, one of which being Artist Merrick. Rob, why don't you give us a sell?
Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm just destroying my... Boom. Okay, so, yeah. Unaccustomed as I am. Right, here we go. We've got Rattle and Roll.
Make it big.
Make me big. We got Rattle and Roll 1. We got Rattle and Roll. Hang on a second. 1. And they're all different sizes. All right. So, some of them are different sizes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So basically, you can get it on, if I can find it, there we go. You can get it on Artist Merrick, which is a nice, lovely. This is my favorite, I gotta say, because it's nice and glossy. It's a nice glossy sheet, and glossy. It's floppy. It's a real floppy, right? Whereas if you get it through KDP and Blurb is good. Anyone who's thinking of putting out their own book, Blurb is good, but it's expensive on the postage. That's the thing. But it has a good reach, and through Blurb, you can actually order this in the US, and I think it's Barnes and Noble and what's the other one? Walmart. You can actually order this online. Yeah, order this online in Walmart, or online Walmart, and then walk into the store and pick it up.
That is cool.
If anyone hasn't read it, please do it and take a photo of yourself picking up a copy of this, and I will include it in issue 2.
Yeah, shout out to all those Americans out there. Track Rattle and Roll down in Walmart. We'd love to see that.
Oh, yes, I would. Yeah, I would. And there's a KDP version. All right, without the do not resell. The KDP version, it's okay. It's good. The artwork is, it's wash. It's ink wash. That's my style. I'm experimenting with a different kind of look for issue 2. A couple of the guys here have seen that, but I'm keeping that pretty much under wraps. Artist Merrick, you can get it. The floppy is the most expensive, but yeah. Chubb ordered this. Chubb and Mrs. Chubb, Monica, they ordered this one, and they're pretty happy with it too. So thank you for the shout out.
So yeah, they've got the nice floppy version, but mine's got an authentic Rob G. Price drawing in it. So
damn right it has.
Yes, indeed. All the links are in the live chat right now. I've got one more thing to promote before we get into the news, and it is this. Get ready for a prime example of keen poster design. Kelly's Comics Fair is coming back to the Newport Riverfront this November 4th, and there is a reason why I'm showing this MS Word poster on the bargain bin, is because Aria Blackness, yours truly, is going to be exhibiting there. It will be Blackness Comics' first proper convention, and we are going to have a whole bunch of really nice merch that you have not seen yet, that has not been featured on any of my crowdfunding campaigns. We will be featuring Taylors, we will be featuring Gustav, and we're going to have a bunch of cool stuff for you to come and check out. So I'd appreciate it if you guys could spread the word, let people know that Kelly's Comic Fair is coming back to Newport Riverfront on Saturday, the 4th of November. And what's more is, if you're in the UK, what about a cheeky meetup? And I mean that in all sincerity. See you there.
Don't say it like it's the end of a show. We've got other stuff to do. Don't tune out, guys. Don't tune out. We're still here. But yeah.
So If you are still here, then we're on to the news. But we're on to the news once I get the right banner up. There we go. Now we're on to the news.
And the Hollywood writers' strike has ended after 148 days.
Again, Justin, again.
Rumors are swirling around what the potential story will be with the Fantastic Four movie, and it's not good.
This just in. Oh no! Again. No, I said what I've got is not news.
Oh, okay.
No.
Black,
We'll
not
do this
gong.
as a separate segment. Not gong.
Okay, over to
Yes,
Justin.
just in.
Yeah, Justin. It's just in. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Well, welcome to the bargain bin where everything runs on time and place. Right.
Like
So,
German trains.
yeah. Well. Okay. So, here we are. The writers' strike, as we spoke about a few shows ago, I believe it was primarily me and Rob that talked about this, has stopped after 148 days, and everyone's going back to work. The late night comedy shows have returned to mixed fanfare because some of them, well, and a tentative deal.
No, we don't know. What do you mean?
Well, a lot of them went insanely political over the last couple of years, and you sort of led to believe, why am I watching this crap? Because I've seen some clips of it, and it's just not funny. So the writers were pushing for streaming residuals and protection against the threat of AI in the film industry. And the outline of details, the tentative deal, which bars the use of AI for writing or rewriting literary material and forbids studios from enforcing writers to use it. The deal, however, allows writers to choose to use the AI to aid their writing, which doesn't surprise me given how some of it's shit. The deal also offers increased compensation for writers and adds new minimum staffing requirements for TV writers' rooms based on their episode count, which I think that could come back to bite them in the ass. And there are minimum annual pay raises for writers of 5%, 4%, 3.5%. Which will start at 5% immediately after the contract is ratified. I still don't give a toss because a lot of the stuff that comes out nowadays just isn't for my tastes, and some of the stuff that I have seen, the writing is so bad that I'm starting to suspect that AI was being used long before we were aware of it, because there was that movie that came out on Apple TV, Ghosted, it starred Anna de Armas and Chris Evans, which several critics who reviewed it actually accused it of being written by AI because of how bad it was. So
don't make the mistake of mistaking AI with just modern Hollywood writers.
Well, again, you see some of the crap that's come out over the last couple of years, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was already being used. But it's like I said, okay, great, the strike's over, people are getting back to work. The actors' strike is still ongoing, so a lot of the folks that really shouldn't be affected by this still are, and I feel for them. But again, there's that part of me that just doesn't care. Maybe it's just my cynical self who looks at modern entertainment and just doesn't like what he sees anymore. Rob, I can tell you're itching to respond, so rock and roll, buddy.
No. I'm definitely giving you time. You have the floor, my good friend.
But yeah, I don't like seeing people on strike because one thing I've read about strikes in recent months, and obviously towards the end of last year, is you can go on strike, you can potentially get a pay raise, but there might be a sting in the tail at the end of it, because there was that story we got told by a particular man who we all knew. I won't say his name on stream in case he doesn't want me to mention his name, who worked for a particular telecom company over here. And the resulting strikes resulted in I think a 6-month backlog of work. And because the company were within their rights to clear it up by any means necessary, they enforced mandatory Sunday overtime for 6 to 8 weeks to get it cleared. So whenever I see strikes, I'm always very cautious around them. So, okay, it's great on one hand because people go back to work, we get our crap back on TV, but again, I just don't care.
I am
Okay,
on the Bristolian Dave camp. Stop watching telly and go to the car boot and buy some DVDs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the thing, right? The whole idea, the whole AI. Surely that is as the Americans would say, that's a moot point, isn't it? Because more and more judges are ruling that AI cannot be copyrighted. And then when producers are like, what, that can't be copyrighted, then of course they have no recourse if somebody starts plagiarizing from an AI generated movie, book, whatever. Because they're not going to be able to enforce copyright if something is created by AI. So there you go. So it's this seems to be like the end of any particular, like I don't know, Family Guy or Simpsons or any kind of sitcom. The show ends and everything's okay again. Let's just see.
Yeah. So,
I learned something today.
Yeah.
Interesting, but do we know, did anything actually come of the strikes? Did they achieve what they wanted?
Yeah, with pay raises and AI, etc.
Yeah.
Oh,
They've
okay.
got what they wanted, but what bothers me about it is because of the residual payouts, the pay wage increase for the writers, and the minimum quantity requirement of writers per room. There's that danger that a lot of these studios are going to go, well, if this is the case, then we're going to have to cut this production, we're going to have to cut that production, we're going to cancel this, cancel that. They're going to be very picky now of what they're going to bring out, which I think is a good thing in terms of quality of stuff to watch. But at the same time, be like, well, we don't need this writer, we don't need that writer, so off you go. Because there was they cancelled a lot of shows during the strike, which I think in some cases they were looking to do, because Rob and I talked about this actually, because one of the shows that Amazon cancelled during the strikes was Peripheral, which starred Chloe Grace Moretz, and that was mentioned in the Variety article that by the Amazon Insider, that nobody was watching the show, but Amazon dared not cancel it because the creators had some political sway they wanted to capitalize on. And I think they used the strikes to get rid of it because nobody was watching it.
Well, so the thing is, as well, it's not just this strike that means good shows get cut. One of the most famous of all shows that got canned was Firefly.
Yeah, I forgot.
And that was a brilliant show, but they canned it. And, there were so many people who were up in arms about that.
Yeah, that was Fox, wasn't it? Because they were notorious for, they were notorious for cancelling shows which everyone loved, but they didn't have faith in. Because another one they cancelled was Alien Nation. You remember that one, Rob?
I've seen that a couple of times. Yeah.
They cancelled the series and left it on a cliffhanger. And the fans and the creators were in such uproar about it that they commissioned, I think, 5 TV movies to wrap up the plot and then just to progress things as best they could with it.
Right. And Futurama has been cancelled so many times now. What is it, 3-4 times?
Yeah. Again,
and always the fans come back and say, "What the F are you doing?"
Yeah. Again, that was Fox, and they were notorious for doing it.
Right.
So, I think that's a good time to move on to our next news story.
Right. So, just showing my screen again because this story came up recently. Oh, piss off. So, the Fantastic Four. Yeah, I know. Fucking adverts. Now, this story is a rumor. The Fantastic Four story is said to be Sue Storm centric. And Reed Richards is apparently so poorly depicted that some actors even passed on playing the role.
No.
Yeah.
So what do you mean so poorly depicted? You mean like
I'm just getting to it now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, once the freaking adverts get out of the way. It's just rolling.
That headline, I feel like we could have brainstormed that headline and if someone came to us and they said, predict the next
Yeah.
MCU related headline, we could have put our heads together and come up with that one.
So, furthermore, relayed that Reed Richards is only referred to as Mr. Fantastic, ironically, and even negatively in the movie. Yep. So,
was it Shaggy who started singing about him?
You've lost me
Okay,
there, Rob.
You're gonna have to explain that one, Rob.
Yeah, because you've lost me there.
Mr. Bombastic.
Yeah. Here we go. So, yeah. To this end, the source asserted that apparently Reed Richards is so poorly depicted that some actors even passed on playing the role. They did not want to be involved in this toxic masculinity style portrayal, the individual concluded. Apparently, the original director, John Watts, left at least partway through production due to the same issue. Yeah. There we go. Source even claimed that any such explicit connection, and it seemed that Sue's rumored independence realization slots right into the previous rumors regarding the film's setting.
That sounds like such a current MCU trope.
Yeah, it does.
And for a movie based on the Fantastic Four, Marvel's premier family, for a storyline to in any way be about an independence realization, as it puts it, that's taking the source material and running way too far with it.
Yeah, because as I remember the Fantastic Four comics, what ones I did read, the heart of the story was the Thing, and essentially what he went through. Reed was the brains, Johnny was the adolescent kid, and Sue was the glue that held everyone together. That was the way it worked. And thinking back over the movies that have been done previously, the first two were mid-tier cheesy, but they were watchable.
I like the original couple of films.
Yeah, props to them for not CGIing the Thing, which I think was the best thing they could have done with it. But then you get to what everyone calls Fan Four Stick, and the way that ended up. I mean, I've not seen the movie itself because I stayed as soon as I realised how bad it was doing. I steered clear of it, and good choice that was. But the behind-the-scenes kerfuffles led to that movie being a right mess. Because I think control was taken over from the director, reshoots were ordered, and you can tell some of them because Kate Mara, who plays the young Sue Storm, you can tell some scenes she's wearing a wig. That one did poorly, and well, here we are. So I'm kind of dreading this now.
Yeah, that was another example of taking the source material and running too far with it, right? Like taking, for example, Black Johnny Storm. Okay, that's one step in the wrong direction. And then they're all young. Okay, another step in the wrong direction. And then they incorporate like a heavy military theme into the movie. There's a further step in the wrong direction. And then Dr. Doom, whose powers are totally different, and costume design is totally different to the source material. There's another step in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So this is weird. Why is the Fantastic Four a cursed franchise? Why can't anyone get it right? I mean, you've had a good go at Spider-Man, a pretty decent go at X-Men. Why not Fantastic Four?
Yeah, so I think what it is, you've got conflicting visions that are going into it, because I think with the Josh Trank movie, I think he wanted to go too dark, and various higher ups were like, no, please don't. And that was why that movie turned into such a mess. But I mean, with the original two movies, the one part that always stuck with me was the fact they turned Galactus into a cloud.
Yeah, Cloud Galactus.
Like, yeah, and I'm just looking going, really?
A fart in a vacuum flask? What?
Yeah.
Well, they did the same with Green Lantern then. And yes, Justin, what are you not telling us about your My Little Pony wish list?
There isn't one. Let's leave that there.
What is this? Bounding Into Comics? Is that a website? Is that a forum?
It's a comics website. They deal in a lot of different stories regarding comics and movies.
Okay.
Okay. That's fair enough. So, Mr. Red Rash Press, why don't you let us know your thoughts on the upcoming Independence realization that could be our next Fantastic Four? And I think that's a good time. Let's move on to Rob's bong, not news.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. Disclaimer. This is not news, but this happened today in a Facebook forum, a British comic forum, the British Annual and Comic Collectors Buy and Sell. Right. So I'm gonna share as you do, and I don't think I've ever been so proud of one of the groups I've been in on Facebook. So check this out.
God,
and I just hope we don't get complaints about this. So this guy, Sam Walker, he says, quote, "Hi there, I'm a reporter for The Sun and looking to speak to comic collectors experts who could reveal the rarest and most valuable comics out there. It's for an online piece which you would need to be pictured in, have your personal details shared in. If this is you, please message me on here. Thanks in advance." So, and look at this, 61 comments, and some of them are classic. So this is unpaid. Not only are you sharing your personal information, but your items too. Your comics up on the dark web, the scammer. Oh, okay, that's a personal one to this guy. More concerned about robbers having my personal information and knowing I've got expensive stuff in there.
Right.
And supporting The Sun too, ... which I would never do. LOL, The Sun. You might end up on page 3. You work for The Sun? Do one. Ha ha ha! Sod off. And then I just had to add a bit. Shh.
Go on, then.
You lost me at The Sun. No,
got more respect for the Daily Sport. That's beautiful.
Oh, if this helps, this is my favorite comic cover ever.
Mm-hmm.
And you all know about The Sun and the Hillsborough disaster, the Hillsborough fire. Yeah, where they, this is the reason why Liverpool does not sell The Sun anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still the case, but for years,
I believe it still is.
Yeah, you just couldn't buy The Sun in Liverpool. No, and I was thinking about this. I was working in the garden today, and what I was thinking was, if they ever decided to make a Die Hard movie, which was a Die Hard movie where who was with Samuel L. Jackson? Was that
Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Die Hard with a Vengeance, right? So if they ever did Die Hard in Liverpool, it would be John McClane wearing a placard saying, "I love The Sun." Righty.
Yeah.
But some of these comments are brilliant.
Yeah, I'd rather shit in my hand and eat it and talk to the sun. Oh, that's beautiful.
This is going well for you, Sam? But apparently it is
the sun. You say no, you can fuck off. Yeah.
Oh god. So that's all I had.
No,
I'm just here for the comments.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and there you are again, Rob. Yeah.
That's me. I'm loving this. If no one objects, I'll mention this on the Monday Night Bargain Bin show tonight. Come along and add your thruppence.
Yeah. I can add my little two penny worth onto the end of this story because my friend of mine, Rachel, she and I have known each other for over 20 years, and her mum was a police officer at Hillsborough on the day of the crush. And it affected their family because she obviously survived it, but before the match it was a hot day, so they all hung their coats in the stadium gymnasium, and of course that was where they put the bodies. So when she went home, she had to go through it to get her she had to go through it to get her coat.
Wow. Well,
and that led to her quitting the force, and for years she couldn't talk about it until my friend's son finally asked her about it one day. So yeah.
So
That's hard. That's
I
hard.
feel for them, Justin, but geez, this is a comic book stream.
I know, but
Bit lucky.
I'm just adding because
Context. Yeah.
But it's but my I know plenty of Liverpool football fans as well, and you don't even dare mention the Sun around them. So
No.
Anyway,
Yeah,
back to
good job,
this.
Rob, for the bargain bin promotion.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you
That's
know
what I
I
love
would.
about.
You
Yeah,
know
that's
I
what I
would.
love about Rob. He spots an opportunity.
You're just saying I'm an opportunist, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not.
So
Hey.
we've the news was, despite the short prep, was actually pretty good this week.
Yeah, I think so.
But we haven't got a slick overlay for it, but I wanted to introduce a new segment of the show, one in which we sort of have a question of the day. And today's question of the day is something that arose in a group chat about a certain comic, of which we shall not mention any further on the show for the meantime. Anyway, question of the day: does crowdfunding work without a pandemic? So before I go in, what's our initial thoughts, guys?
I would say yes. I mean, look. I don't know personally how many followers Goose has. If he has a lot of followers, he needs more, and he should have more, and he deserves more for his work. Absolutely. But I got to be honest. I don't know how many followers he's got. But how much percentage is he over his? He set his goal a little bit low, which I believe is a strategy for a lot of first time.
Yeah, the goal was low because the book was already done.
Right. Okay. Fair.
So,
but yeah, he hit it, and yeah, it's. So I would say, obviously, it would be great for him to get some more, but it's working there. It works for you though, didn't it, Aria? I mean, all right, you started it
as an example of a campaign that did big numbers during the pandemic.
No, okay.
What do you think, Justin?
I think it does, but only to a limited degree now, because I think based on what I've seen, that the days of raising large amounts for certain projects is long gone. This has been evident in some of the comics that we've seen that have been launched after the first big book, shall we say. I also think that there are creators out there who have let down the others by having their books stupidly late. I mean, there was one that come up in the chat a little while ago. I'll present it here for everyone that's curious as to what I'm talking about. Doom Kicker. Now, as you can see, it raised $62,600 which is just over 51 grand. And it should have shipped February 2020.
Oh hell! Ouch!
Yeah. And
ouch!
And looking at the comments, they're obviously very back. Yeah. So this is a good one. As for previous comments said, I don't know why I keep checking back here for comments or updates. It does make me angry. At this point, I don't think I'll ever be able to enjoy the book if it ever did by some miracle ship. And there's no way to ever support anything Elliot ever did again. Heck, Doug Tenaple has over-delivered on every project with him. Just being attached to Doom Kicker makes me hesitate to support him either. Communication would solve so many issues. And just going down this list here, there's no comments from the guy in charge. And
man.
Yeah, so it's because we've got backers creators like that have screwed it up for everyone else. I do think that unless you've got a really good story or art, etc., that people are genuinely interested in, you're going to struggle to fulfill, especially if you want a particularly large amount.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly why, and I know I'm late with Rattle and Roll too.
Yeah, but yours
this is
isn't
why I-
crowdfunded though, is it?
That's my point. That is
Yeah,
exactly
yours isn't
my
crowdfunded
point.
though, so that doesn't count for this discussion, Rob.
Yeah, but this is it. I will crowdfund it, but I'm not going to crowdfund it until I'm not really going to start a campaign until I'm so I'm at the finish line and say, okay, that's it. Now I can release it. Yeah,
I think that's the way to go, is to get the book done first. I mean, Goose has done it, and he's living a stress-free life now because he knows all he's got to do is place an order. And also, along with that point that Justin was making, I was thinking as you were saying that then, this is aside from the original point that I was going to make, but perhaps a way forward now is to move from the crowdfunders and just to move on to sales platforms like eBay or Amazon, Arctic Merrick, whatever, because you avoid then the wait period, right? The product's got to be done to be on there to be sold.
Yeah.
Rather than people, because like we're still using, let's take the Gustav example. We're basically using Kickstarter as a sales platform, not the crowdfunding platform, because the book is done. So people aren't going to have that waiting time. Maybe this is like, again, aside from my original point, but maybe that's the way we should be moving rather than relying on crowdfunders. Because then you'd mitigate that waiting issue, right?
But also because go on, Rob.
No, after you go.
But like I said, because so many other creators have let the side down with ridiculous late times because they're too busy doing 6-hour fucking live streams and smack talking each other, it's like your priorities are not where they should be. I mean, when I know it's a bit of a moot point, but when I did Niven's War, it was a successful book, not by much, but I already had the first draft written. I sent it off to the editor. The edits were done within a reasonable time frame, and I got the book out, I think, 3 months early.
Nice.
And I've seen other smaller creators, some of whom we've had on the show, have not been on YouTube as much, have prioritized getting the book done, which is why I will, if I see a project that's done by a smaller developer, there's more chance I'll back it. But a lot of the bigger stuff, I'm not going near anymore. I don't know if I've said it already on the stream, but I'm not backing anything Rand Skyver does again. His priorities are not where they should be. And, should I ever meet him, I will say that to him. Anything I've got Cyberpunk related is over there. Once I've got packaging, I'm going to start selling it on eBay. I'll probably take a hit to get rid of it, but I know I'm not going to make a profit from it.
Okay.
So I like that you said that, because it ties in with my original point. And actually, Red Dress brought this up when he said, oh, that's the wrong one. He said, folks with big YouTube channels using crowdfunding to sell merch by another name will always be successful. And you're still seeing the big names do really well. People like Skyver, people like
a dedicated audience.
The big names are doing really well still with their crowdfunding campaigns.
But
I mean, here's the thing: back during the whole system, or the way it was supposed to work, was totally different during the pandemic, because back then everyone had a YouTube show. There was like 50 YouTube shows, and when I did the Tailless Fulfillment, I was jumping on like 3 streams a day, just never even heard of them. I just received a link, jumped on, streamed for an hour, and there was just so much opportunity to get out there. And that really helped boost the campaign. But also, I feel like people were looking for it then. Small creators were spotlighted because people were looking for entertainment.
Absolutely.
So small creators were right place, right time to get funding on our campaigns. Whereas now we're out of our lockdowns, we're out of pandemic, and the shows aren't there anymore. The crowdfunders are still there, so we put our campaigns on there. But it seems now it's way harder to attract an audience to it, and I don't have all the time in the world. But even if I did, I don't know where I will go to promote it. There's maybe 10 shows I could list off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Where it would be, where I know I'd be able to set up somewhere to.
Yeah.
There's also something else I think has happened here, because obviously I work with my friend Peter on my book covers, and her husband, he does project management, and he's looked at a lot of this, and he's gone, scope creep has crept in here, because obviously Van Sciver, he launched Wrecked Planet, but while we were waiting for that, we got the Unforgettable Tales, we got the hardcover graphic novel, we got the toys, we got the models. We still didn't get Wrecked Planet, which is almost 4 years late for my copy. I've rather don't know about you. And like I said, the priorities aren't where there should be. And I can't remember who it was that said this on Twitter, but it's like these guys are now treating their backers more as their wallets than their backers. And I'm genuinely tired of it. I mean, I'm going to name them now because, screw it, I've had enough. But I backed The Dragon Guard by the guy called Kev Hulk. Now, that book is almost 4 years late. He's gone to these claimed medical conditions, which is like, okay, fair enough. But, 4 years late, I asked for a refund, never was responded to. And there was the one by Mike Murphy, the Western comic. To tell you, I can't remember its name. I asked him for a refund in the comments, and he said it wasn't in his budget. How the fuck is it not in your budget? And going over the responses he gave to what the problems were, first of all, it was a problem with the lettering. I think then it was the colours. And then he claimed a medical condition. Was like, okay, to a degree, I accept that. But you never mentioned that before. And that one is a 32-page comic.
There is another element to crowdfunding which gets forgotten and is never really addressed, is that there is money that is going to be injected into the campaign that is going to get lost. I'll give you an example from the Taylor's campaign. I lost a lot of money in two main areas. Number one was import fees on the Keshi figures. That sucked a huge chunk of whatever profit I made on the campaign. And number two was test printing. Test printing was a nightmare, especially given the fact that the book has a wraparound cover, which was very hard to line up on the. So an individual book test print was costing me near 50 quid once you included VAT and shipping.
Oh shit, buddy!
So you print 3 or 4 test prints like I did, and you're racking up £200 of budget there. So I kind of understand, right, where that creator says it's not in the budget, but obviously that's not on. But
no, I get it.
When you back a crowdfunder, you've still got to. There's an element of risk, right? You're not purchasing a product; you're supporting a.
That's right.
I get that.
So that money is there for them to use as they please.
But I do appreciate that there will be lateness in a project, and I fully understand. You get maybe a year or so, but 3 or 4 years. That's where you lose me there. And I mean,
I think a year is kind of extreme. I feel it's a few months late. Fine, but a year.
But I mean, I lost the profit. The additional money I made over the mark of Niven's War, that got swallowed up because, of course, while the book was in development, all the postage prices in the UK jumped by a country mile. So I think I had to spend an additional 100 quid to get the last of the books out, which again, I got out 3 months early, but I didn't expect to take that hit. So I mean, me and Peter were
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Me and Peter were talking about doing a graphic novel, but now I'm very hesitant to do it.
Right. Okay. So I'll jump in. I can't remember what I wanted to say from about 5 minutes ago. No, what I do remember is that it's really funny that like when I started hanging out with the Bargain Bin, with you guys, all the crowdfunders. I mean, I had already brought Rattle and Roll out. I'd finished it. I put it straight out on Artif Merit, KDP, Blurb. so it was there. And everyone's like, yeah, crowdfunding. And now what Ari has said is exactly what I did. The only thing is my situation is, of course, I didn't have the audience. I didn't have the number of people to say, oh yeah, I'll look into that.
Here's the thing, Rob. I predict, because there's been so much wait for Rattle and Roll 2, even though, let's face it, the audience here has thinned since the height of the pandemic and all that. So, but as soon as you announce that Rattle and Roll 2 is ready, the page is up there, people are going to go check it out, because
I hope.
So long. Let's hope so. Let's pray for that. But Tailless was the same, because Tailless was on eBay first before I took it to the crowdfunder, and I never had the issue of lateness, because as soon as a book was done, it took me ages to do a book, to do 8 pages in back then. Granted, I was new to it, right? It took me ages to do those 8 pages, but then I spent like a month trying to just sell it on eBay, and I did all right. Like, selling like 15 to 20 copies of a book, which is pretty good for a 19, 20-year-old indie comic creator. So, and you never had that problem of lateness doing that. So maybe that's the way to go, is to move back towards a more instant fulfillment.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. But it's kind of interesting the way it's kind of turned around. One thing that we ought to remember is, like, of course, during the pandemic, people couldn't go out. People would, as you said, they needed entertainment. One thing that we ought to remember, we didn't know when it was going to come to an end. We had no idea. It could have been months, it could have been weeks, months, years. And I just think it's really kind of interesting. I saw a YouTube video, like a TED Talk, I think it was, around about the start of the pandemic, talking about the Spanish flu. And the crazy thing is, the Spanish flu was there 2 years, ravaged Europe, and then it was gone. And is that any different from Corona?
It's still about.
It's still about, but it's not at the, it's not at the level. We don't, it's not the newness. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like a novo virus. It's like a new unknown virus. Once it kind of settles in to the population,
Yeah. So, I think this was a interesting topic to bring up. It came up because Jolie and Dave and I were saying how both our real world jobs, believe it or not, we've got those, and both of our real world jobs are moving back from being remote to in person, and that feels so backwards, because we can be so much more productive remotely than in person. I feel like we learned, if we learned anything through the pandemic, that would be it, because and you know what the funny thing is, during the pandemic my real world job was entirely in person, and yet I still had bags of time to be working on my comic book. So I'm thinking back in retrospect, I'm thinking, how much would I have gotten done if I had a work from home job at that time?
Well, mind you weren't a new father at that time, were you?
No.
That's true.
Well, I remember the story that came out of an advertising company in Birmingham. They all started working from home remotely, obviously, when the pandemic hit, and then they realized they were saving money by not renting out the office and not paying for the commute. So they switched to completely working at home, and it saved them more than a ton of money. So, there were stories like that cropped up from it all.
Oh, for sure.
London Gothic's just brought up a good point, because he says by the time Royal Mail put up the price about 5 times a year, and the percentage Kickstarter or wake me up before you Indigo, charge your basically.
I gotta do it.
Yeah.
Wake me up before your Indiegogo.
Yeah,
Because
very good.
Yeah, I don't know what else I can follow with that. Because I want to get my package, and you say
Yeah.
no. Right.
Keep me hanging on for you free. No, never mind.
I guess the one thing you do have on the crowdfunders that you wouldn't have on eBay or Amazon or whatever is you have the explore comic section, and then you're there amongst all the other comic creators.
Yeah. That's if you're not shadow banned. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there is the exposure factor, that's for sure.
Of course, yes.
But again, is anybody looking at that page anymore now that we're out of a pandemic?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
The last time I backed anyone was actually someone that appeared on this show, and that was the Guardian Angel book,
right?
And I backed the 2-pack to get the Angels Awakenings because the artwork and the story looked fantastic and it was right up my alley. But had that guy not have been on the show, I doubt I would have seen it because I haven't been looking on Indiegogo or for any new books for a long time.
Do you hear that, creators? Get on the bargain bin and you'll sell books.
You heard it here first.
Absolutely.
Do we have anything else to...
I'm shadow banning Aria for my channel.
Actually, you know what? I was looking at you earlier and I thought, what's different? And you've chopped your beard off.
Oh, right.
How
Yeah,
many
just
weeks
have to
has
shave
that
every
been
once in a
gone?
while.
Yeah, he looks about 12.
Yeah.
Not with a bloody chin like that, he doesn't. Righty.
Cool.
Before we start getting all personal and shit, what we got next? Because if you want, it's you, is it? Good.
What were you saying, Rob?
Oh, I've got a funny little thing that I saw and I posted in a Welsh group, and I don't know if it's interesting to you, boy.
We'll come on to that last, okay?
Do it. Yeah.
Come on to that right at the end. So, time for one of our regular segments we haven't seen for a while. It's show and tell.
Yes,
hang on a sec.
There we go.
Show me what you got.
Right, so I made a point to start collecting stuff which more appealed to me than just for the sake of being collectible. And one of the things I always loved were the old school Dark Horse Aliens comics. And in particular, you had the stories that came out after Aliens and essentially launched the whole comic universe, which the fans loved. But then a load of these stories were made non-canonical when Alien 3 came out and fucked everything up. So Dark Horse, in a lot of the cases, had to change these stories and reprint them with the changes. But what they did shortly before Marvel acquired the Aliens and Predator franchises was they released these original hardcover graphic novels where they reprinted the old stories. And I've got them here. Make me big, please.
Make it
big. So
package.
This was the first one.
Ooh,
nice.
That's
classy.
Pretty looking.
Yeah. And that's how thick it is for anyone wondering.
Ooh, baby, that's thick.
Yeah, and
that's what she said.
Yeah. So you got the black ink around the outside of the pages, and this one contains.
I really wish I had the overlay of I like them big.
Yeah.
I like
so this contains the two primary series that come out called Outbreak and then a story called Lucky. And as you can see, it's the original black and white style art that Dark Horse was known for with Aliens. And then you get to book 2, which is here. And this contained these stories, Nightmare Asylum and Earth War. Unlike the first book, in color. And the artwork, absolutely beautiful. This book got the metallic silver ink around the outside.
Yeah, nice.
And then
who does the artwork, or is it a number of different artists?
There's a number of different artists, but I'll get to that in a minute for the reasons you'll soon see. But then Then I picked up this,
Nice.
which is the 2 series they did of Aliens versus Predator, and gold around the outer pages, and inside beautiful color artwork, which again absolutely beautiful and solid book. Now, regarding the art, and this is why I'm mentioning it now, one of the artists involved in it for the second story of the third story of the Aliens storyline was called Earth War, and it was by a guy called Sam Keith. Now, for those who don't know, he drew the Max for Image, he drew Wolverine and stuff like that for Marvel, and I got this one from my local comic shop. Now, this is a hardcover original of the Earth War story, and for those wondering why I picked it up, it is a signed and numbered edition, signed by the writer
nice.
and Sam Keith.
Nice.
And this one is number 1153 of 1,500 limited copies. So
Nice, dude. That's a very cool one.
So that's part of my proud little collection now. And
where'd you get them from?
Right, so to go through it again. So this one I had to get from eBay because just couldn't find it anywhere else. The only downside to getting it from eBay, I don't know if you can see it, but it took a little bit of a knock.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's not great either.
But you see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it whenever I look at it, but maybe I'll pick up another copy. I don't know. This one I got from my local comic shop because the guy just had it resting on its shelf. And as you can see, spine in beautiful condition. To answer your question about artists, Rob, on the first book, it's Mark.
Show me that spine again.
Oh, this one. Yeah. So on the first book, it was Mark Nelson. And I'm just going to go for the credits here quickly.
Don't crack the spine!
I'm trying not to, believe me. On the second book, it's Den Balvis, if I'm saying that right. And then, of course, Sam Keith. And for Aliens versus Predator. Again, right. Penciled by Phil Norwood and Chris Warner. And then Chris Warner on his own. So the best part about this is also they've got introductions written by the writer involved. And it's a bit annoying reading this, but poignant at the same time, because towards the end, he celebrates the fact that Dark Horse will be doing alien stories for the next 20 years more. And it's like, no, you won't, because Marvel now have the rights and have basically used them to shill their shit with. Make you small, please, Aria.
1 second, Justin. Do your best to hold up all 4 of those books and give me a big cheesy smile for the thumbnail.
Do you know how heavy these are?
Come on, weight
You're a big
training.
man.
Come on, you're a big guy. Dude, he's a regular gummy bear.
He's the strongest gummy bear of them all.
Can I put them down now?
No.
There we go. Yeah.
Up a bit, left a bit, right a bit.
Shut up. And I'll finish on this point. Marvel bought out, I think it was a 6-issue miniseries to start their reign of terror over the Aliens franchise. And anyone who's watching this, please look this image up. You'll see what I mean. They started, the artist who drew the first series, a guy named Salvador LaRocha. And there's a splash page where there's a load of aliens marching towards whoever. And people noticed that the aliens looked a bit stiff. And then they examined the drawings more. And you can tell that LaRocha has drawn figures because he's drawn their points of articulation.
Oh.
Yeah.
What were you talking about? They've drawn figures. Oh, you mean like the action figures?
Yeah. He's basically got his figures on there and he's drawn them, but he's drawn the points of articulation along with it. And there was a video.
Plastic sprues.
No, but you can see the unnatural bend in the arm because there's one that's sort of walking like this, and you can. It's
Justin,
like
what might
that's a
one
figure.
Google to find that image?
Let me look at it now, Aria, because it'll take me a second to find, because I don't know if Google right.
You find that. In the
what's
meantime, we've
creators
had some
outlet
interesting
talking
comments.
about?
We've had oh, Will's here. Good to see you, Will.
Yeah.
How do you do? Good to see you, my man. But also London Gothic saying we're into number 12 of 16 Comic Cons this year, and it's by far the best way to get some funds in the coffers, although you have
Yeah, we ought to get this
like a
guy
small
on
one
and give us some
would be great.
pointers, eh?
Yeah, he's been on once before, but dude, hit us up and join us on the bin again. I'd love to see you back on the show. And if you know any conventions that would be worth the while for Blackness Comics to attend, send me a list, dude. I would very much appreciate it.
I'm just loading the image now. Just waiting for my computer to do its thing. Hurry the
Waiting
fuck up.
for his dial-up connection to.
It's not dial-up. It's just.
It's telegraph poles.
Yeah, it's telegraph pole.
He has to go down to the generator in the basement and wind it up.
The crank handle.
No, I just have to go down there and kick it.
Kick the hamster to make it run around that little wheel.
We still waiting, Justin?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the damn thing to load. I've got a small image. Will that do?
God, can you remember when you had images they would like load, and if it was
No,
porn,
I
it would be
don't
like
Right, I'll share this page so you can see, because I've got the image on a small. Hang on, fucking hell! I'll share this because it won't load the main image. Yeah, it won't fucking load. Do me a favor,
like it big and in high definition.
Okay, so can you see this? Can you see this image here?
Minecraft.
Right. Okay.
Right. Look at the arms in particular of this one here. You can tell he's drawn the figures by the way they're walking.
Well, try and zoom in. Control and plus.
Hang on a minute. There we go. Right.
Hey, there you go.
Oh yeah,
buddy.
yeah. You can totally see it.
Yeah.
Hang
that
on.
one right in the middle.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Little notches, yeah. Bloody hell.
So I mean,
hang on, wait.
And then obviously,
they're probably not illustrations. They're probably posterized photographs.
Yeah,
potentially, yeah. But you could tell now that I've seen it, I can't fucking unsee it. But that sort of art, like really. So that's why I love getting the old Dark Horse stuff, because they really put the effort into drawing it.
There's one of my favorite artists, Mike Diodato, is he's a fantastic artist, but I think he got sucked into the world of what do you call it, posterizing and taking photos of things or tracing, which is a shame.
There was an episode of Saturday Morning Cartoons we did probably about 8 months ago, and Max brought up one of his favorite comics, and I was just like, hang on a sec, go back to that panel, because they're right in the background. Not even, for example, I don't know, like 3D modeling or something, that you find like in manga, but a photo. And you could actually totally tell. Oh, I know, it was Marvel Man. Yeah. Not Marvel Man. It's not. What's it called now? Miracle Man. Yeah. It was one of the panels of Miracle Man. And when you really made it big, you could see that it was just a freaking, I don't know, postcard or something in the background. I mean, the thing is, all right, if I can say that if you integrate it in a way that makes it seamless, I read a blog about this one guy who lived in Japan. And he wrote a graphic novel about his life in Japan. 13 years, beautiful art. 13 years it took him to finish it. And like it must have been a YouTube video he put together talking about his process, and he was like, I could have got it done in so much shorter time if I'd have done a bit of shortcutting here, a bit of copy and pasting, and you know what? Nobody would have known the freaking difference.
Yeah, but he would have known.
That's why
he would have known, but then again, I mean that he was, by his own admission, kind of like, being a bit oh god, what's the word now? Yeah, thinking about it ruefully, like thinking, I could have had this done in so much. It would have still looked as good, but so
Yeah. I think that's just the curse of being an artist. You're always going to want to do it to perfection. But anyway, that was show and tell. So well done, Justin. You get one of those.
I like what you got. Good job.
Thank you.
I would like to know, to what was this referring to? Get it done, you cheeky bastard. Is that me and Rattle and Roll too? It could be. It could be.
Maybe. Probably tailor's fulfillment, no one will.
Oh, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. And Rob, you had something you wanted to share with me.
Oh, am I doing that? Yeah, hang on a sec. In which case, I need to set it up. It's not comic related, but it is pop culture related.
Okay.
Have you seen Good Omens, the second series?
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
I've not watched
I've seen the first one. It was a while ago. I'll have to watch it again though. So let me see. Share. I haven't seen the second one. I shared this. Heidi V. Honey. Okay. I keep having dreams where I meet Michael Sheen on the streets in Wales, and I try telling him I'm a big fan of Good Omens, and all he does is yell Welsh facts at me because I'm a Londoner. I'm moving to Wales in a few days, so the dreams are getting worse. And then Michael Sheen, hero, he writes, a fifth of the people in Wales are over 65. That is excellent. Oh, nice.
I like it. I like things like that.
Brilliant.
He's playing the role. He is Michael Sheen the character, not Michael Sheen the man. So that's very cool. Very cool indeed. I think that's it, guys. Let's say thank you to the people who rocked up to watch our wacky stream today. Good to see you,
very much.
Will, as always. Good to see you, Mr. London Gothic. We will get you that box of 6 Cadbury cream eggs. Don't you worry. On the show.
We might dress them up as Kinder eggs, mind you.
Tell us how you enjoy them. Good to see Mr. Red Dress Press, even if I am or have got myself banned from his channel. Invite me on again, and I'll give you some hair tips and whatever. We'll virtually braid and have a good.
It'll be L'Oreal.
Jojoba is a month between September and November.
Good to see Michael Jackson himself. It's Ben Jackson. So thank you for joining us, dudes. It's been another good episode. I hope you enjoyed the bargain bin. Turns out sometimes even the unprepared ones are pretty good. So
we do have our moments.
We do indeed. Does anyone have any last words before we hit the outro?
See you next week.
Let's just give them a cheeky bargain bin wave.
Bye.
Bargain bin, let's see what crowd is in. Baba Dave and his hair. He's old man, but please don't stare. Alright, he's on the bargain bin. Now this just in, it's just in. Our new guy who just snuck in. He takes a joke, he just don't care. He's a regular gummy bear. New boy, here on the bargain bin. Bonus section, it's area black. For the furries, he's got your back. Along with Neve, that rhymes with Steve. Can't you weave? She'll knit you a sleeve. Whoa, they're on the bargain bin. It's on Monday night. If you're lucky, it's on time. It's a pile of shite, but to miss it is a crime. Just out the gate, it's Rob GP. He's not a dog, but he'll make you pee. Up for a laugh, he'll laugh at oat. If it falls flat, he'll get his coat. Whoa, we are the bargain bin. You heard the bargain bin, huh? This is the bargain bin.